Okay, everyone, welcome back. We're in the Romanesque period today, and I want to look at one of these magnificently carved doors. This is the Christ in Majesty with angels and the 24 elders. It's a tympanum from the south portal of Saint-Pierre in Moissac in France. And this is during the Romanesque period, which was one that experienced a revival of stone carving. Now, this shouldn't be surprising as we have these stonemasons building these stone churches with stone vaulting, that we're going to see this interest in stone carving as well. Also, this is catalyzed by this new role of churches becoming no longer, private domains of monasteries, but now more integral to towns, which began to develop during this period. And even a monastery church like this one in Moissac will become more heavily ornate and decorated. Now, before we go any further in this, I want to go over some of the vocabulary of these church doors. A portal and a door are the same thing, okay? And we kind of have to understand, just like when we learned about Greek temples, we similarly have to learn about some of the architectural vocabulary, because this is where we're going to find the art in these churches. So here we are at the portal, right, or the doors, and there's several sets of these doors around the churches. It's basically a kind of a post and lintel design, right, where we have these kind of posts here. This is called a tremeau between the doors, and of course this is a great access point, and as you can see will become decorated with sculpture. The lintel itself is decorated here, as we can see, with an abstract design. And then the tremeau, right, is this half circle found above the doorway. And this is by far and away where we're going to find the most heavily decorated aspects of the door and the tympanum. Okay, and then we can see here the jambs on either side, and in this case we have this really interesting kind of scalloping, a decorative device. It is believed that this is actually derived from Islamic architecture. One of the most interesting aspects of the Romans, or this whole period we've been looking at, is the amount of movement through Europe of this time, where we have groups of people that have seen different types of architectural styles and carry this with them and integrate this into their own design. And this is believed to be the case here in Moissac. This is important because it's the first kind of fully coordinated monumental Romanesque portal. This is one I've visited. It's right outside of Toulouse in Moissac, probably would have been a day's walk. It might be like an hour's drive outside. And it depicts in the center, let's go to a close-up, the second coming of Christ. And here is Christ in the center, much larger. Do I have a better picture of him? Yeah, bigger than everybody else right here in the center. He is flanked on the four sides here by the four symbols of the evangelist. Of course, we are learning those, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, man or the angel, the lion, the ox, and the eagle. That's what those symbols are there. And we can see on the bottom here the appearance of the 24 elders who accompanied Christ as the kings of the world, and they are playing instruments praising Christ, who is in that act of, or coming, reappearing to mankind for the second time, in which he will cast judgment. And this will be another scene that will be very, very popular during this period. It's a kind of a busy arrangement where we have kind of Christ here and then this kind of line of elders with their long, elongated faces. These are most likely coming out of illuminated manuscript illustrations, which are really the source at this point for kind of visual ideas for kind of crafting figures and kind of composing these designs. So there's a great continuity between sculptural composition and illuminated manuscripts. I think my favorite part of this incredible door is the trumeau. And as you can see here, it's very beautiful as you kind of move into the church. You can see this kind of almost ghost-like figure. This is believed to be an Old Testament prophet, maybe Jeremiah or Isaiah, elegantly elongated, kind of spiritualized, if you will, as almost the kind of flesh of the figure has been, you know, um, morphed away into this kind of long body, and just the kind of spiritual essence remains. This kind of long, elegant leg, the kind of diaphanous cloth of his robe, and then this kind of beautiful face, kind of tilting downward, looking quite beautifully at the passersby, the pilgrims that would be entering in. Once again, we have this very much this emphasis on the spiritual nature of the individual, of this saint rather than their kind of corporeal or physical self. Also, I want you to take note of the lions here on the front of the trumeau. These lions, we've seen this before many times in the history of art. This is the lions at the gate. Look, if you can remember all the way back to the Aegeans, right, who used lions, and of course the Egyptians, these kind of guardian-like figures. Interestingly, as we move into the Gothic period, these will be co-opted by the royal families and will become part of their, personal insignias and so forth, and they'll make an appearance in association with them. It's a really rich, dynamic time, and really some of the most beautiful stone carving that we've seen thus far.